Okay. In last lecture, we discussed about the balance of payment adjustment, and how the balance of payment are there. So basically, we have the uh, deficit, surplus, and balance equal balance of payment are there. Now today we try to discuss about the foreign exchange market. That is the one financial market where foreign currency transaction will be fulfilled. So basically, what we have to think about in the particular topic. So once the course of the trade settled, the major problem will be arise how to make the payment from the for the input. So basically, because the different currency have the different currency, and when the trade take place, and there will be problem will be arise if the importers import some commodity, they have to pay some amount of the particular commodity. So to payment give the payment of the import, that time the problem will be arise. This problem is solved for the foreign exchange rate. So basically, the exchange rate between any two countries is determined by the foreign exchange market, the market where foreign currency are brought and sold. So basically, exchange rate between two different countries' currency will be determined under the foreign exchange market. And in the foreign exchange market, basically, the foreign currency buy and brought and sold in a foreign exchange market. So basically, foreign exchange market is known as a foreign currency market also, where foreign currencies are buy as well as sold in particular country, and that will be done in a particular market, or such a market is known as a foreign exchange market, or it's known as also forex market. So in foreign exchange market, there are some organization are involved. First, we have the central bank. So in our case, the RBI is our central bank. Next, bankers. There are various bankers are involved in a transaction of the foreign exchange market. Commercial banks, the RBI gives some permission to some commercial banks to do transaction in a foreign exchange market, and there will be export, importer, tourists, investors, and others. Those are the demanding the foreign currency as well as the supply the foreign currency. Basically, those are the importers, or those are the domestic tourists tourists who are going outside of a country for the tourism, or investors, and as well as exporters. These are the quite important part. Those are the demanding as well as supplying the foreign currency. So these are the foreign exchange market we can see in a country. So basically, foreign exchange market is the market which foreign currencies are brought and sold by the individuals, firms, bank, and foreign exchange brokers. So basically, when we want to define the foreign exchange market in simple language, you can say the foreign exchange market is the market where foreign currency is brought and sold by individuals, firms, banks, and foreign exchange brokers. So basically, individuals, firms, there are different firms, bankers, as well as a foreign exchange broker. They can sold and buy the currency from the market, and such a market is known as a foreign exchange market. The central bank are the apex body in organization of the foreign exchange market. So basically, central bank is the apex body who is the control, regulated, and control the foreign exchange market in a particular country. Similarly, we are established in 1991. That is the Exim Bank, that is a export-import bank. It also look after the foreign exchange market as a representative of our central bank. So basically, they work as a custodian of the foreign exchange in the country and a lender for the last resort. So basically, these central bank or some other organization, those are the regulated such a market. They are working as a custodian of a foreign exchange, basically, and they are working as a custodian of a country, foreign exchange custodian of a country, and the lender of the list of the world. So they control the regulated domestic foreign exchange market. So basically, they try to control and regulate domestic foreign exchange market. So it means they try to control domestic foreign demand for and supply of a foreign exchange market or foreign exchange. So basically, they work towards the so This data? Okay, okay. So, start. Okay. So today we discuss about the foreign exchange market. Basically, last lecture we discussed the BOP, balance of payment. So in foreign exchange market, it's a market where foreign currency brought and sold. So once the course of the trade settled, the major problem will be arise how to make a payment of the import, because in import payment we are not able to pay in a currency, we have to pay in a foreign currency. So there will be problem will arise with when the import to settlement of the import payment, and basically because of that problem will be arise because different country have the different currency. So this problem is solved by the foreign exchange rate, and the exchange rate between any two countries is determined by the foreign exchange market. So basically, exchange rate to different countries, different currency is a fixed in a exchange rate, fixed in a foreign exchange market, and this market is known as the foreign currency sold and brought in a market. So basically, in foreign exchange market, there are main participants. When we discuss the main participant in foreign exchange market, first we have the central bank. So in our case, in central bank, that is RBI is our central bank. Similarly, each and every country they have some central organization, financial organization, which is regulated the market, foreign exchange market. Afterwards, we have the bankers. There are some bankers are there. Third stage, that is the commercial banks. There are various commercial banks are working in the foreign exchange market. Similarly, in fourth layer, we have the exporter, importer, tourist or investors or others. Those are the demanding the foreign exchange. Those are demanding and foreign currency, demand and supply of the foreign currency. So basically, the foreign exchange market is the market in which foreign currencies are brought and sold by the individuals, firms, banks, and the foreign exchange brokers. So basically, foreign exchange market, it means a market where foreign currency brought and sold by individuals, firms, brokers, and the foreign exchange bankers also. So the central bank are the apex body, and this organization are regulated the foreign exchange market. They work as a custodians. So when we think about the role of the central bank in a foreign exchange market, so they are working as a custodian of the foreign exchange market, and they regulated the foreign exchange market. They control and regulated the domestic foreign exchange market or domestic foreign exchange demand and supply. Similarly, central bank work towards the prevailing the fluctuation, to controlling the fluctuation in a foreign exchange rate through the direct intervention or direct or indirect intervention in the foreign exchange market. So basically, this is the main role which is done by the country's central bank in a foreign exchange market. Afterwards, we have another layer, that is the commercial banks. The commercial bank constitute the second most important layer organ of the foreign exchange market, and they take care about the day-to-day transaction of the in terms of the foreign currency. So there are some buyers, they're demanding some foreign currency. Similarly, some suppliers, they providing the foreign currency. So the day-to-day transaction will be fulfilled through the commercial bank. They also work as a clearing house, so they can convert the foreign currency in a domestic currency, or sometimes they can convert in a domestic currency in a foreign currency. So basically, the foreign exchange brokers constitute the third layers of the market. So there are foreign exchange broker also there. They work as a major source of the market information, so they can provide the market information and work as a link between actual buyers and bankers. So there are some actual buyers and bankers, they are working as an intermediate, or they are working as a link between the actual buyers and the bankers. So next we have the function of the foreign exchange market. So what are the function of the foreign exchange market? So there are some basic function done by the foreign exchange market. First, we have the foreign exchange market, or through foreign exchange market, transfer fund for in a foreign currency from one country to another country where they are needed in a settlement of the payment. So basically, the transferring the fund in terms of the foreign currency, it will be happen or it will be done by the foreign exchange market. Okay, most of the time, if the country has some needed some fund in the terms of the foreign currency, that fund will be provided through the foreign exchange market. So that is the first function, which is transferring the fund in terms of the foreign currency from one country to another country. They provide a short-term credit to the importers and thereby facilitate to smooth flow of goods and services from one country to another country. Similarly, the foreign exchange market provides a short-term credit to the importers, so it will be quite easy to importers to buy commodity from other countries and import the commodity in the domestic market. So it will be help to smooth flow of the goods and services in a domestic economy or domestic country. And next we have the spot and forward market. In such a way, they often help to the stabilization foreign exchange rate. So stabilizing the foreign exchange rate, there also we take a help from the foreign exchange market. So exchange rate, it means one currency's rate in terms of the other currency. So basically, there are some we have the main transaction or main part of the foreign exchange market. That is first we have the spot and the forward market. So market can be divided in a two category. Basically, foreign exchange market is classified on the basis of their natures and transaction in the two categories or two types. First, we have the spot market, another we have the forward market. So now if we discuss about, now we can discuss about the spot market. So spot market refer to that segment of the foreign exchange market in which the sale and the purchase of foreign currency transaction are settled within 2 days of the deal. So basically, within 2 days of the deal finishing, the settlement of the foreign currency will be done in a spot market. So the spot sale or the purchase of the foreign exchange constitute the spot market. So there is a short-term buyer and the selling of the foreign currency in such a market. The rate of the which foreign currency is brought and sold in spot market is called the spot exchange rate. So basically, the rate of which foreign currency in a brought and sold in a particular market, that will be depend on the demand of particular currency and the supply of the particular currency in a foreign exchange market. Through that will be the exchange rate will be fixed, and that is called that exchange rate is known as a spot exchange rate. So that also is done by. Next we have the forward market. So forward market, it means when buyers sellers enter in an agreement to buy and sell the foreign currency after the 90 days of the deal. This is a called forward transaction. So here buyer and the seller of a foreign currency, they have the agreement, and in that agreement they can sell the foreign currency after the after the 90 days of the deal is called a forward transaction. So basically, the forward transaction in the foreign exchange constitute the forward market. The forward transaction in a foreign exchange market is constitute the forward market, and the exchange rate that is settled between the buyers and the sellers through the agreement. So through the agreement, they can settle or they can fix the exchange rate in future 90 days and settle between the buyers and sellers for the forward sales and the purchase of currencies in the called the foreign exchange market. So that is which rate which will be fixed by the between the buyer and the seller. Okay, that exchange rate is known as a forward exchange rate. So basically, the forward exchange rate where where we have some time for 90 days is the time will be there to complete the deal. Okay, so that transaction is known as a forward market. So basically, the types of the transaction in a foreign exchange market. So there are various types of the transaction done in a foreign exchange market. First, we have the hedging. Next, we have the arbitrage. Third, we have the speculation, and fourth, we have the currency swaps. So first, we have the hedging. So hedging means setting the exchange rate by arrangement. the setting the exchange rate by the agreement of 90 days in advance for the forward transaction with a view of the avoiding the loss due to exchange rate fluctuation. So basically, in heading where the exchange rate will be fixed before advancedly that will fix to avoid the loss due to the exchange rate fluctuation, and that will be fixed by the between the exchange rate fixed by through the agreement between the sellers and the buyer of the foreign currency. So what are the advantage of that particular transaction? It protect the against uncertainty in international transaction. It protect against uncertainty in international transaction, because when we see the if we have the free exchange rate, so exchange rate continuously fluctuated, and if we have the quite greater fluctuation, so it will be maybe can create some losses in the futures. So avoid such a losses, through the agreement buyers and the seller can fix the price of their particular currency exchange rate, and that will be there before deal will be happen after the 90 days. It ensures the free and a regular flow of the goods and services between the trading partner. So it is ensuring that the free and a regular flow of the goods and services between the trading partner, because the exchange rate is already fixed. So it will be reducing some uncertainty to while it will be created through the fluctuation of the exchange rate. So basically, that's why the flow of the goods and services can be continuing in a country, partner country. It prevents a loss due to the depreciation of the currency or exploiting the currency. So it will be prevent or it will be protect to loss due to the depreciation of a currency's value or the exporting the countries. So basically, it will be have some benefit of the hedging transaction. Next, we have arbitrage. So arbitrage is the an act simultaneous purchases and the sale of a different currency in a two or more exchange market. So arbitrage means is act simultaneously purchase and the sale of a different currency in a two or the more exchange market. So simultaneously, so someone can purchase some same currency in a two or more different market. Okay. So objective to make a profit by the taking advantage of exchange rate differentials in the different market. So why it will be done? Because main objective of behind that to making a profit, to create a profit or advantage or take advantage of a different exchange market and different rate of in the different exchange market. So it equalizes the foreign exchange rates in all major exchange rates. So it will be helped to equalize exchange rate all major exchange market. So it also possible to make when the foreign exchange market is free from a control or when control, if any, are limited significance. So basically, it is possible when the exchange market or foreign exchange market is free from the controls, there will be no control on the foreign exchange market. Similarly, it will be have a control, but that is not too much significance. So that is the arbitrage of types. So next we have the speculation. So speculation is the opposite to hedging. Speculation, it means the speculation dealers assume a risk with the view to making the profit from the fluctuation. So speculation dealers assume a risk, so they are ready to take a risk, and they with the view of the making the profit. So main motive behind to take a risk making the profit, so they can try to get the profit while the exchange rates have the fluctuation. So speculation in a foreign exchange is deliberate assumption of risk to make profit and from the speculation in exchange rate. So basically, it have the risk make profit main motive, and there are some speculation speculators who expect the exchange rate is decline in the possible futures. So there are some speculators who expected the exchange rate will be declining in some future days. So these speculators with the systematic expectation are called bears. So such speculators are called bears. Those are the assuming that, or those are the realize that in the future exchange rate of particular currency will be declined. And similarly, we have on opposite side there are other speculators who expect the exchange rate to increase in futures, and this group such speculators are known as what's called bulls, like in a share market. Also we have these bears and bulls concept. So there are the brokers. Some brokers are thinking about the how when the prices are continuously decline of the shares, they can buy the shares and make a profit. And there are these are known as the bears, and the bulls, it means when they have the increasing the price, they try to make a profit in a terms of increasing price, so that they're known as a bulls. So same will be in a we have in a speculators in a foreign exchange market also. The speculative transaction have both stabilization and destabilization impact on the exchange rate. So speculative market, both they have the impact on the exchange rate or rate of the exchange. So next we have the currency swap. So currency swap is a kind of the foreign exchange transaction in which there is a spot sale of the currency, a forward purchase of the same currency in single sale or purchases transaction. So basically, the currency swap types of the foreign exchange transaction are usually made by the bankers. So these transactions are usually made by the bankers, and they have the transaction between the bank. It is essentially an interbank transaction. So most of the time, or many times, such a transaction have the interbank transaction. So sometimes a particular bank needs some foreign currency, or maybe some bank have some surplus of the foreign currency. They can have the transaction between them. Okay, and such a transaction are known as a currency swap transaction in a foreign exchange market. Next, we have the interest arbitrage by the foreign exchange market. So sometimes foreign exchange currency or sometimes foreign currency is demanded by short-term foreign investors, and this kind of the demand of the foreign currency is called interest arbitrage. So interest arbitrage means sometimes foreign currencies are demanded by the only demanded for the short term by the foreign investors. Okay, and this kind of the demand of foreign currency is known as an interest arbitrage. So interest arbitrage may be uncovered or covered. So such interest arbitrage may be covered or the uncovered also. If we have the covered, that time we did not have too much impact on the economy, but it's not a covered that will have the quite bigger impact on the economy. So in covered interest arbitrage means interest arbitrage is related to the foreign investment in a fixed returns bonds. So this such investment interest arbitrage is related to foreign investment in a fixed returns bond. So there is a fixed returns bond. If you don't want interest arbitrage, so we can invest the amount in a fixed foreign fixed returns bond. However, owning the fluctuation in exchange rate, investment in foreign bonds becomes risky. So basically, aware the owning the fluctuation in exchange rate. So if there is a fluctuation, continuous fluctuation in exchange rate, so such a time investment in a foreign debts become a risk because the price of the foreign bonds also the fluctuated because of the exchange rate will be fluctuated. If this risk is not covered, it is called uncovered interest arbitrage. If the such risk is not covered, is it called interest arbitrage of a in a foreign exchange market. So basically, if a risk is there, okay, and the interest risk is there, and that will be not covered, that is known as uncovered interest arbitrage. So next we have the covered interest arbitrage. So there is a risk in investing the foreign currency within the depreciates. So that there will be risks to invest in foreign currency in a depreciation. So in order to avoid such risks, investors usually cover their principal and interest through a method of called covered interest arbitrage. So avoiding such a risk, investor usually try to cover his principal and interest through the methods of cover interest rate arbitrage. So if he avoiding risk in exchange rate market, so they can cover, and that is known as a cover interest arbitrage. So investors buy the foreign currency in a such a way they want to make investment at the spot exchange rate, at the same time sell a forward foreign currency chron- contract with the maturity of the bonds. So basically, investor buy the foreign currency in which they want to make an investment at the spot exchange rate. And similarly, same time they can forward the foreign currency through the bonds also. So this kind of the buying and the selling of the foreign currency in the purpose of the foreign investors cover the risks. So one time they buy the currency where they want to buy, where they may be showing that they are getting some profit in the next some days. Similarly, to covering or to reducing the risks in a exchange rate, they can buy the bonds or where they can get the fixed return. So that is known as a arbitrage, cover arbitrage. Basically, that is the exchange market, foreign exchange market, and when foreign exchange market, where it will be include that is the demand of exchange, demand of foreign currency, and supply of the foreign currency, and that market will be controlled by the basically the Reserve Bank in our case. There are some commercial banks or brokers are working in a market. Now we have to move another topic which is related to foreign exchange also. So how the foreign currency or how the exchange rate will be determined. So we heard many times $1 is 80 rupees. So that is the exchange rate. It means if you want to buy a $1, we have to pay 80 rupees. So that is a exchange rate. That is the exchange rate of our rupees and the rupees in terms of the dollar. So basically, how the exchange rate will be determined. So basically, what the first we have to understand what is the exchange rate. The exchange rate is a rate at which currency of a country can be exchanged for another. So exchange rate is a rate in which the currency of particular country can be exchanged for the another country's currency. So basically, it determined by the different countries' exchange market and made public through the news media. So it determined it for different foreign exchange market, different countries foreign exchange market, and it will be circulated or through the public or through the news media. So the methods of exchange rate determination depend on whatever the foreign exchange market is free or controlled. So sometimes the methods of exchange rate of determination is depend on is the country following the free exchange market, or they adopting the free exchange market, or may they have the control over the foreign currency market. So basically, whatever the government adopt the fixed or flexible exchange rate policy, that on their policy, the exchange rate will be determination of exchange rate will be different. So next we have the that is one simple table is there, and where we have the cross currency exchange rate in on May 2013. So where we have the various countries currency, pounds, sterling, that is a British currency. We have the euro, that is European Union currency. US dollar, that is the US American dollar is there. For Swiss franc, the Swiss country's currency. Japanese yen, that is Japan currency. China's yuan, that is China's currency, and India's rupees. So it's the Indian currency is there. So here, each currency is showing that the rate of the exchange in a particular currency in terms of the particular currency. So and that will be fixed through the maybe in a free market, and maybe sometime we have the control over the foreign exchange market. So basically, determination of exchange rate, a free market. So now we have to think about a free market. So where free market means there will be no control over the exchange rate. So there will be no control through the central bank or some other organization. They don't have any control to fixing the exchange rate. The free exchange rate market refer the market in which there is no restriction of foreign exchange dealing. So free exchange rate market means the market where there are no any restriction over the foreign exchange dealing. Afterwards, we have that the government does not intervene or does not interfere in the process of foreign exchange determination. So government can't interfere the fixing of the price of the foreign exchange. And similarly, the exchange rate is determined by the market force. So it will be determined only the market force. As a government or as a representative of the government, no one can interfere in the market. The exchange rate of different countries' currency will be determined through their demand and supply. That is known as a market force. So no one have the control over the rate of the exchange. And such a rate determination is known as a free market exchange rate. So basically, how it will be determined? So so derivation of the demand and curve and supply curve. So we have the demand of a foreign currency, and another curve that is a supply curve that is known as the supply of the foreign currency. So basically, the demand of the foreign currency is a downward sloping curve. That is it will be downward from the left to right, and supply of the foreign currency it is an upwards curve because in O axis we measuring that is a dollars, and in O axis we are measuring the dollars, and O axis we are measuring the exchange rate. So when we have the less exchange rate, so basically the demand will be quite higher, and with the exchange rate will be decline, demand also decline. So and similarly we have the demand curve D1. Okay, determination of the exchange rate. If the supply of the exchange foreign exchange is constant, it not change, and if the demand change, what happen? That will be supply of a foreign exchange is a smaller than demand of the foreign exchange. It will be cause of increasing the exchange rate. So in a P point, we have the exchange rate that is a 40 rupees. Okay, in terms of the dollar. Afterwards, it will be increasing by it become a 50 rupees. So it's showing that if the demand of the foreign currency increasing continuously and supply is stable or constant, that will be help to increase the exchange rate. So now we have to think about the causes of exchange rate fluctuation. Why the exchange rate have the fluctuation? When you see the exchange rate nowadays, so we have the continuous fluctuation in exchange rate also because we are adopting the free exchange rate policies. So we are reducing the control over the exchange rate market to determination of the exchange. That's why each and every day, not only each and every day, but each and every minute and second, the exchange rate will be continuously changes. So why it will be happen? Why there is a fluctuation? So first cause we can say there's a shift in a demand and supply curves. So shift in a demand and supply curve, that time it will create some fluctuation in a foreign exchange market. So if the demand is become greater than the supply, that time that time the currency exchange rate will be increasing, so it will become fluctuation. Similarly, in opposite situation, also exchange rate will be unstable. So rising or fall in the real income of the country. So rising or fall. If the country's income rise, automatically they can increasing their consumption. If the consumption increasing, it means they have to demanding more goods and commodity, and that will be provided from the foreigners in the short time. We are not able to produce that much commodity, so our import will be increasing. So basically, increasing the income also it have the impact on the exchange rate, and similarly the rise or the fall in income also have the impact. So rise in the real income abroad, So rise in real income in abroad, it means a country if get the surplus in a foreign trade. So basically, the country getting some quite more amount of the income, and more of amount of income it caused to the increasing the more demand in the market, and the similarly it will be created some problem like inflation problem will be there. So rise and a fall in the rate of the interest in a domestic country. So similarly, they will be increasing the price of commodity continuously, and other side it will be interest rate also increasing. Inflow and outflow of the short term and long term capital will be happen. So basically, inflow and outflow of the short term and long term capital will be happen, and speculative purchase and the sale of the foreign exchange in the exchange market. So speculative also quite to be activated, and they try to sell and purchase in a currency in a foreign market. So structural changes in the economy will be happen, and if the political instability and uncertainty is there, that time also we have the fluctuation. So basically, there are various factors have the impact on fluctuation of our exchange rate, and these are some important factors we discuss. That is the one, first we have the shift in a demand and supply curve. Second, we have the rise or fall of the income of domestic people, rise in a real income up abroad. So if the rise of real income abroad also have the impact on the changing exchange rate. Similar rise and the fall in a rate of the interest in the domestic economy. For similar afterwards, we have the inflow and outflow of the short-term, long-term capitals, and speculative purchase of the sales foreign exchange. So structural changes of economy and similarly political instability also have the impact, adverse impact. We can't say that there's a positive impact, but the adverse impact on the exchange rate of the exchange of particular country in a foreign exchange market. So we try to criticize this theory. So there are some criticism according to this theory. So first we have the market theory is exchange rate assume that domestic price levels are interdependent of the exchange rate. Whatever there is a choice link between them. A continuous use in a general price level lead to depreciation of a country. So basically, in such determination of the exchange rate, through this theory, assuming that domestic price level are interdependent, so it will not have any impact on the domestic price level, or maybe we can say that in domestic price level how the we can the constant price level is there. Next, we have the it is applicable only where the exchange rate respond to changes in demand and supply condition. So it is only applicable. So where the exchange rate was respond to changes in a demand and supply of a condition. Next, we have the it works reasonably well. Only the export countries do not have the perfect substitution available for the domestic market. So some economics criticize that it will be reasonable well only the exporter countries, and for the not have the perfect substitution available for the importer countries or domestic market will be that. So the equilibrium rate of the exchange determination by the market focus is supposed to the to be stable and to bring about the automatic adjustment in the balance payment. But in experience, it shows that there will be no automatic adjustment in a balance of payment. So basically, if we are assuming that there will be automatic adjustment, so that time this theory will be can work. But in reality, we know that there will be no automatic adjustment is there. So some factors or some people have to interfere in the market for the adjustment. Yeah. Next theory, we have the purchasing power parity theory. So PP is known as the purchasing power parity theory is known as PP. of the exchange rate determination state that the exchange rate between any two countries equal the ratio of the price level. So determining the exchange rate of a different country in this through this theory, they are considering the price level of a different country. Okay, so through that exchange rate, we are considering inflation level also. So basically, the PP theory is has a two version. First, absolute purchasing power parity theory, and next we have the relative purchasing power parity theory. Now we have to think about the absolute purchasing power parity theory. So according to absolute version of purchasing power parity theory, the equilibrium exchange rate is determined in the terms of the ratio absolute price level in two countries. So there will be countries they have the absolute price of the country, and the ratio of this price ratio of the different two commodities is known as the absolute price purchasing power. So the exchange rate under this version of the PP theory is given as, so ER means exchange rate, equal to the PA, that is the price level in a country, and similarly PB, price level of country in A, and PB is equal to price level in a country B. So through this formula, we are able to count the absolute purchasing power parity through the exchange rate, through the absolute purchasing power parity. So there will be some criticize on this PP theory also. Some people can criticize on because there are some limitation of particular thought. And first limitation is it ignores the effect of transportation costs which affect final price paid by the trader. So basically, it will be fully ignore the transportation cost affected transportation cost, because such a cost is affected the price paid by the traders, and they are not considering the transportation cost. Many countries impose tariff on the import and subsidize the export. These facts affect the price, hence the real purchasing power of the country of the currency. So basically, some country give the impose the tariff on the import, and they give some subsidies to the export. It will be have the impact or effect on the price of the commodity, and we are not able to find out the real purchasing power of a country. It ignores the price level of non-trade goods, which are the part of the prickles of the general price level. So it ignore basically it ignore that the price level of the non-trades goods, which are the part of the prickles of the general price level. So the price or the purchasing power parity theory ignores the capital account transaction, which do matter in exchange rate determination. So basically, the purchasing power theory ignoring the capital account transaction, because last lecture we discussed about there are some transaction in capital account, that is a capital inflow and capital outflow. Such a transaction are ignoring by the exchange rate, because through this transaction also the country can get the money foreign currency. Similarly, they have to pay from foreign currency to outsider also. So, but in purchasing power parity theory, they fully ignore that is the matter of the purchasing exchange rate determination. Okay, so that is the one part where we can criticize the purchasing power theory. Afterwards, we have the relative exchange purchasing power theory, parity theory. So, relative purchasing power parity theory state that relative change in exchange rate over the time. It's showing that relative change in exchange rate over the time is proportional to the change in relative exchange rate level over the period of the time. So basically, in the purchasing power parity theory, the relative purchasing power parity theory state that the relative change in the exchange rate over the time proportionally to the change in a relevant price level or period of the time. The formula of relative purchasing power theory is given below. So we have the one formula where En and N are ERO are the exchange rate in year N and in year 0 respectively. Afterwards, we have the PAN and PA10. So are the price levels in a country of a commodity in a year of the 9 and best year is the 0 respectively. And last one we have that is a PBN and the PB0 are the price level of the country of BE and N and was year of the respectively. So through that the relative purchasing power parity also we are able to calculate the purchasing power of a particular commodity, and through that purchasing power countries can compare the one currency to the another currency in the world market. So we have the criticism on the relative purchase PP theory. So the relative PP theory is a productive misleading exchange rate since the absent in a general price index of the country. So basically, it will be quite, we can say, misleading exchange rate, and since it is based on the general price index. The price index number does not reflect the relative prices less than the different countries. So price index does not reflect the relative prices level of the different country. Changes in relative prices is do not reflect in change in the purchasing power, and similarly the capital transaction between the nation take place which affect the determination of exchange rate. But this kind of the exchange rate is not acquired from the relative exchange rate. And the next we have the factors such as imposing of a embargo and tariff, impose the tariff or some other barriers among the import as well as giving some subsidy to export. It has some adverse impact on exchange rate market, and POP recognizing the change in the exchange rate over to the exchange relative prices. So these are all the criticism. There are some critics over other purchasing power theory. So that is the second thought, how the exchange rate will be finalized. So first we have the free market equilibrium where the demand and supply is there. There will be no interfere in the market. Afterwards, we have the purchasing power theory, and we try to take into account the real income of the particular factors while we calculate the purchasing power of a purchasing power theory of a foreign currency. Now afterwards, we have the another approach that is a monetary approach to the exchange rate. So basically, through the monetary approach, also the exchange rate can be equalized, and approach of combined purchasing power parity theorem. So here they can combine the purchasing power parity theorem with the other theories and the neoclassical quantity theories of the money. Similarly, for example, neoclassical theory of the money and the Keynesian theory of the interest to explain the determination of the exchange rate. So he can explain the determination of exchange rate through the Keynesian theory of the interest and the neoclassical theory of the money. And we get some the money approaches obstruate that since the equilibrium of the domestic economy is determined by the equality of the money demand So where the demand of the money and money supply will be equal, so equal monetary market are equal in a country, it will be have the good impact on the trade as well as the purchasing power of the parity. So with the regard to determination of the exchange rate, going by the PP theory, the exchange rate between the current countries of the two currencies is determined by the terms of their price ratio. So through the price ratio, the exchange rate can be determined. Afterwards, we have the overshooting effects on the rising of money supply. If the money supply rise, what are the effect are the facing? What are the effect are there? So first, rise of money supply affect to the interest rate. So it will affect to increasing the interest rate. It affect to increasing the inflation also. This increasing the interest rate has additional effect on exchange rate. If the interest rate increasing, it have additional effect. It means adverse effect on the exchange rate because which lead to an overshooting and exchange rate. So that's why the overshooting effort of the rise of a money supply will be can happen if the money supply is rise quite more quantity. How change the money supply affect the exchange rate? So there will be question arise that how can we change the supply, supply of available resources, its effect to exchange rate. So what happened in a country A? So basically, the price effect and increase in the money supply in a country A increase the domestic price level. It will be increase the domestic price level because automatically if the people are getting more money in their hand, they try to buy demanding more goods and commodity, and domestic price if they in short term they are not able to provide such commodity, it will be help to the domestic price level will be declined. As far as the country's theory, the money works with an increasing with an money was with an increasing in domestic price level. So domestic goods and becomes costiers. So if we have the quite higher amount of the money supply, it costs to domestic product cost of production will be increasing. Domestic product will be quite higher price. They can sell a product in highly higher price in a market. Similarly, the producer can sell their product in quite a lower price. Okay, it result into rise in import and similarly decline the export. These are the first effect of the increasing in a basic economy. Afterwards, we have the interest rate effect also because when the money supply change, it have the impact on the interest rate. The interest rate also change and it have the impact on the B as well as the A country. So how exchange rate in a money supply affect the exchange rate? So if basically exactly the reverse happens in the country A, its currency appreciates significantly and demand for the B currency overset using the appropriate of the B currency. So what is the final result? So final result is the exchange excessive dispersion of a currency or excessive supply of the A currency and excessive appropriation of the B currency create the condition for the restoring the exchange parity. Similarly, the limit result that restoring of the exchange rate to a ratio of their price level. Okay, that ratio is given here. So the course of the money, drawbacks of the monetary approach. So there is a monetary approach. We try to find out some drawbacks are there. We can see the drawbacks. So it will be over emphasize of the effect of the increasing the money supply. Next, we have the ignorance of the other factors in monetary policy. We are ignoring the other factors, assuming the foreign bonds are the perfect substitute to the domestic bonds. So here we are assuming that foreign bonds and the domestic bond are the perfect substitute between each others, but we can't say such a substitution will be there. Similarly, the variation of the exchange rate are the purely monetary phenomena and that is the assumption. But there are other effects also have the impact on the exchange rate. False in explain satisfactory exchange rate variation in major country in 1973. So it will be quite failed to explain why there are quite more decreasing in exchange rate in 1973. So that much we have to done exchange rate. Okay, so today we discuss about the now we have to conclude our lectures. So basically how in today's lecture we try to analyze the foreign exchange market. We try to find out some participant in foreign exchange market, some types of the foreign exchange market, and similarly how to control the foreign exchange market in the first part of our lectures. In second part of the lectures we try to find out the exchange rate, foreign exchange rate. So how it will be determined? What first we try to understand so what is mean by exchange rate, and we try to understand there are some theories of the determination of the exchange rate. We have some theory, that is the first theory, that is the free market theory. Another we have the that purchase power parity theory, monetary theory is there. So there are various theory. Through that theory, how the exchange rate will be determined, we can explain in today's lectures. And similarly, we try to understand the limitation of the particular theory also. So thanks to everyone for the attending today's lecture. Thank you. So in the next lecture we can start a new point which is related to our international trade. Thank you again. Once again, thanks to everyone. Thank you.